Ayo friendos, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a very special one because I did not plan this at all. I didn't even think this palette was coming to Ulta till the 7th. Did I get this wrong in my mind? Well, my sister found this at a nearby Ulta and I made the arduous trek through the wilderness, through all the traffic, to get the Jaclyn Hill Strawberry Fills palette. And today, guys, we're going to review it. So in just a moment, we're going to do some swatches. We're going to do a look, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this new formulation. If you are even mildly intrigued, then please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. And friendos, let's get into it. Just stay tuned. So friendos, I actually had to get someone to go in the back and dig for this palette at Ulta today. Thankfully, the girl was very nice about it, but they did not have this on the display. They had it in the back. I'm guessing someone didn't do their job last night. So here she is. Love this design. I think it's really cute. And let me just tell you what a relief it is to not have a neutral palette to review. I feel like we've been drowning in a sea of neutral palette releases. So you guys know a lot of these pinks aren't really my favorite colors to play with on the eyes. But still, like I said, I'm happy that it's not a neutral, and I definitely feel inspired to create when I see this palette. So this palette retails for $34. As you guys saw, we're getting 10 pans in this palette. And as far as I know, right now you can only purchase this at Ulta and also at jaclyncosmetics.com. But I would think that this is coming to Morphe eventually. So guys, let's get into the swatches. Now into the white shade Picnic. It's fairly pigmented. I can't say that it's the most pigmented white I've ever seen, but it's not bad. Then we have Sugar Coated. Next up, Shortcake. That one is pretty much the same tone as my skin. It's a little bit more neutral, but you can barely see it here. And then we have Picnic Pie. Okay. All right, so that one's really pretty. This one is a cross between like a terracotta and a coral. Then we have Cobbler, which appears to be a dark terracotta. Ooh, it actually swatched a little bit more pink than how it looks in the pan. What looks to be a true pink, which is Lemonade. That one's beautiful as well. Playdate, which looks like a soft peachy pink. We have Fresh Picked, which looks like a reddish burgundy sparkle. All the Feels, which looks, this looks like a dark red violet. That one did not swatch as good. Let's see. There we go. And then we have Berry Whipped. Now in the pan, this looks very brown. Yeah, it looks brown on my hand too. Now guys, we are zoomed in and it's time to do a look. My sister just informed me that we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. I am so lucky to have her as my cameraman. So we're going to start out today with the Jaclyn First Base Primer. Now of all of the things that Jaclyn has released that I have tried so far, I think this is my favorite product. It's one of those primers that it's not going to crease on you if you're oily like myself. You can see I'm already starting to crease with a little bit of foundation that I have on my eyes, but it's also not going to make your eyelids feel dry. And you just get the nicest little white sheen on your eyelids, and it just makes for a very nice canvas when you're doing your eye work. So let's start out this look with Playdate. And I'm using my Units 203. What I normally try to do when I'm reviewing a palette, and it's the first time that we're trying it out on my channel, is I try to use as many shades as I possibly can. So sometimes that doesn't make for the most flattering of looks, but at least we'll know how the palette performs. So I think this one is going on nice and pigmented, and I'm not having any trouble whatsoever blending it out so far. And I'm not going to change up my brush. I'm just going to dip right into Lemonade. We're taking it right there in the center. Now, friendos, I have been so curious to try out Jaclyn's palette formula because, you know, So far, she's only been working with Morphe. And she released that first eyeshadow palette, but I wasn't feeling that color story, so I decided not to pick it up. So I'm happy to get this one and try it out. The shade is so pretty and it's blending out so nicely. All right, same brush once again. We're going in with the shade Cobbler. And I'm sure most of you guys know, Morphe, of course, is made in China. Overall, Morphe does not have one of my favorite formulas, although I will say most of their collabs with Jaclyn have been an elevated formula from their norm. But still, I don't find any of them to be fantastic. So I'm really happy to see Jaclyn going out on her own. This one is looking lovely. I'm going to build it up a little bit more. Also very happy to see that this palette right here is made in the USA. All right, now I'm a little bit curious about Picnic because I didn't think that it was the most opaque white ever. So let's see how it does on a brush. This is my all over shadow brush from Complex Culture.
Excuse me.
So she's kind of powdery. That's okay, most whites are. And it looks nice on the eye. I don't have any complaints. And it is taking a little bit of work to blend the white with the other pigmented shades. That's not outside the usual. Okay, then also from Complex Culture, I'm going to go in with the Precision Eyelid Brush. Just sounds so wild. Okay, we're going to go in with All the Feels, the most berry looking shade in the pan. The most berry looking shade in the palette. And I'm getting a little bit messy over here, but that's okay. I'm going to clean it up in just a few minutes. And I do believe that this looks very nice. It's not as pigmented as the rest of the shades, but it's not bad. This is proving to be very buildable and very blendable. Now with my Luxie 2-in-1, we're going to go into the shade Sugar Coated. And regularly, how I do this is I show you what it looks like without wetting the brush. Then I go back and spray my brush and you guys can see for yourself how it performs. So from the get-go, this looks fairly shimmery enough. Now we're going to spray it so we can see exactly what you can do with it. So yeah, that bumped it up a notch. Now we're going to go in with Picnic Pie and just kind of blend everything together. And going to blend the shimmer shade out just a little bit over. I don't want to see any harsh lines here. And then just to keep things interesting, we'll go in with Berry Whipped for the bottom lash line and just connect all this. And then I'm going to have a fun time cleaning up what I did over here. I should have used shields, but you know, hindsight's 20/20. And this one is performing nicely as well. Okay guys, I'm going to go do my other eye off camera, put on some liner, put on some lashes, and I'll be right back to you guys. See you in just a sec. To Friendos, I'm going to finish off this look with my lippy pencil from ColourPop. And it's in a name that's so stupid that I'm not going to say it on camera. Sorry. Okay, so I did that super messy. That's okay. We're going to go over this with N206 from Giorgio Armani, their Lip Maestro formula. And then for blush, I think we'll dip into Lemonade from the palette. Going in light-handed with this. Okay, Friendos, so let's get back and let's talk about my final thoughts on my preliminary use of this palette. So this palette is not weighty. I still think it looks really pretty. And I think that the $36 price point is pretty fair. There's no mirror inside. You can kind of see the little indentations where everything is cardboard. But again, it is only $36, and I thought that the formula was really good. Now, if you were asking me to compare this to another brand, I would have to go with ColourPop. And that's no tea, no shade. I do love me some ColourPop. They also don't put a mirror in their packaging, but what I'm really referencing is how the shadows perform. They just felt like ColourPop. Now, what I do think is a little bit more special and a little bit more ingenious is the color story. I'm no pro makeup artist, but in first looking at this color selection, I didn't think that I was going to enjoy this as much as I did, and I didn't think that the colors were going to go together as well as what they did. I have 8 out of 10 shades from the palette on my eyes right now, and I think it looks cohesive, but it also looks really different. And I mean different from other palettes that I have in my collection. I don't have anything that looks like this. So yeah, if you like Jaclyn's brand, or even if you've never tried it before, but you like the color story and you like the look of this palette, if you wouldn't mind paying $36 for something like this, then I think that you will really enjoy this. I don't think that anything in the formulation is going to throw you off or make you think, oh, I wish I hadn't spent my money on that. I'm very happy to have this in my collection. I'm very happy with Jaclyn's choice to have this manufactured in the USA. I mean, there's really a lot to like in this palette. And again, usually these kind of pinks just aren't my thing, but I don't know, I like this. And I hope I didn't come off as weird or anything today. Well, I mean, I'm always like a little bit weird, but I hope I didn't come off as off today. Y'all, I was cooking earlier and I was slicing up jalapenos in the kitchen. I've since washed my hands, but the burn is still there and it's been burning the entire time. So I'm gonna jump off here and go scrub my hands some more. I wish you all a splendid rest of your day. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts were on this palette, if you plan to pick it up, and what your favorite Jaclyn Hill products are. I always like hearing from you guys. And lastly, I hope that you will subscribe if you have not done so already, because if not, we'll both have to live in the sorrow of never knowing what could have been. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. Bye.